Hi Pisces, welcome to Carol's Universe, tarot reading from the heart. I'm really sorry that your reading's a little bit late. It's only like a couple of days. We're still in the beginning of October. I'm recording from a different setting. I'm at my sister's this weekend, so that's why the video setup looks different. I'm recording from her dressing room. She has a ton of clothes in here, jeez. Clothes horse if ever I saw one. But anyway, yeah, this is your October 2016 general reading. I've already recorded your love reading, so hop on next door after this reading or whenever you want to do it. The readings I'm trying to get down to about 15 to 20 minutes from now on, but still trying to jam-pack everything in, as much quality and quantity as I possibly can. So if you'd like a private reading with me, guys, just go to www.carolsuniverse.co.uk. Right, let's have a look what's coming up for you guys. So, Universe Spirit, what's coming up for the zodiac sign of Pisces? Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs for the month of October 2016. Show me what's coming in for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs for the month of October 2016. I'm going to put the deck on the table in a moment. Split the deck into three. Collect the deck back up, and the two top cards I would like to show the energies, the general energy for the month of October 2016 for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. The bottom card to be the advice that you have to impart to Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, and the 8 cards in the middle to show the people, situations, events, issues that Pisces will be dealing with in the month of October 2016. Show me. Right, so I have shuffled the cards from left to right. I'm just going to take a moment to let the cards absorb your name and what I've asked. I'm going to split the deck into 3 very gently. Collect it back up from the left. And we're going to start laying the cards. Oh, by the way, I'm using my new hang on, let's get that in, that's it. I'm using my new Rider-Waite, can you see that? Rider-Waite Radiant Tarot deck. I've already got a pack of these, but they're a bit screwed. So I'm drinking a cup of tea here, made by my wonderful brother-in-law. So just going to lay the cards. It's funny because this used to be my old room when I lived here. But obviously now I live in my own space, so I'm working back from the small table, which is a bit of a nightmare because it's having the room. At my new place I have plenty of room, massive glass table to work from, which is great, and also a little study area in the corner of the room, which is great. It's just easier to lay the cards, but we'll just, you know, you make do with what you've got, don't you? Right, there we go. Let's turn over the advice for the month, Pisces. Not the advice yet, we'll do oh, and afterwards we'll have a look what your angels are saying with my angel answers. I've got 2 of these now. My twin sister bought a pack of these and she doesn't really want to use them anymore, so she gave them to me, which is lovely. Well, it's interesting because you've got the Page of Swords as your general energy for the month, and the 3 of Swords. So the Page of Swords we know to be messages that come in, disappointment, so disappointing messages. Could be around love because we've got the 3 of Swords. So it could be some form of information that you receive. It could be some sort of communication that you receive that potentially leaves you broken-hearted or maybe upset. It can also, the Page of Swords can be about new ideas, inspiration, standing up for the truth, with the 3 of Swords there sitting next to it. I mean, obviously with the tarot, it's always good to do tarot interaction and also to look at what the key words are and kind of match them up to try and get a meaning around those cards, which is the way that I do tarot. So Page of Swords for me is about, not just about disappointing messages. It can be, so some of you guys might receive some form of communication and it might affect you in a very emotional way. But both cards, which is quite interesting, are to do with communication that affects us. The Page of Swords can be where we're having an argument, so there might be difficulties in terms of relationships for some of you guys in the month of October 2016. You might have difficulty communicating, for example, because we know the Page of Swords and the Three of Swords are cards that talk about difficulty in communication. It could be for some of you guys you are having arguments with a partner, because the Page of Swords, when that comes up in terms of a reading, it's often about difficult communication. So Page of Swords is about standing up to for the truth, speaking your truth. So some of you guys might be speaking your truth in the month of October 2016, Pisces, and it might leave some wounds, some emotional wounds with that Three of Swords. It could also be that because of the communication with the Page of Swords, maybe for some of you guys you've got some very strong head and heart decisions to make, because the Three of Swords is not just about emotional sadness. It's not just about being affected by words, because the swords are piercing the heart. So we know that swords are ideas and communication and struggles. So if we look at this in terms of ideas and communication, then to me that says it's affecting somebody emotionally. It's really going to the heart. So often you get this card where somebody has taken an action, somebody's done something to you, somebody's somebody said something to you, and it's really affected you to your core. So, and the Page of Swords, as I've said, is being honest. It's being open. It is a page. It's young. So sometimes the Page of Swords will just say something and they'll not realise what they've said because they're a child. So the communication that they're giving is immature. Okay, it's immature communication that can affect one in a very difficult way. But also with that Three of Swords, it could be that some of you guys have head and heart decisions to make over the type of communication that maybe you're having. It doesn't have to be a love relationship, but maybe the type of communication that you're having with a particular person, it's going to take some reasoning and it's going to take some sorting out in terms of your relationships. Sometimes the Three of Swords is a three-way relationship, and the Page of Swords can be seeking information. So some of you guys might be trying to find out whether your partner is cheating, or whether whether there is something to do with a three-way relationship. It could be looking around online, that type of thing, trying to find out what somebody you're interested in is up to, Facebook, Twitter, that type of thing. Page of Swords is finding out. It's a student. Page of Swords is naturally inquisitive. So you obviously often get this card when it suggests a spy or somebody who's doing something that they're trying to conceal their actions though. Don't have a moon card with this, or even a Seven of Swords, but you don't really need one, because the Page of Swords can be somebody who's like looking around, they're spying, they're trying to get information. Could be trying to get information, maybe. The Three of Swords is that you've had a partner, for example, you've split with that partner. Maybe you've heard something down the grapevine around a partner who's been with someone else. Maybe they split with someone else. Maybe you're trying to find information out on that. Okay, but there's lots of information I feel that you guys are exchanging in terms of difficult situations in the month of October 2016. I also feel that there might be challenging communication that needs to be resolved, and then that might be making head and heart decisions over where you go to next, that type of thing. We'll come back to that general energy in a moment though, but we know when it's swords as a general energy that there are mental things that need to be resolved, because the swords are air, so they're to do with our mentality, the way that we think, the words, the ideas, the struggles that we face that might be affecting us in everyday life, and they're to do with coming to a resolution. Page of Swords is often coming, standing up for the truth, so speaking your truth. So where you see injustice, unfairness, it's about speaking out about that. And it might be that the words that you say in the month of October, Pisces, will have a very big effect, perhaps on a group of people. Three of Swords, number 3 is a group. So it might be the things that you say might have an effect on others, for example, in the month of October 2016. Your advice card is the Strength card, so you're going to need to be strong in the month of October 2016. But this can also mean to be restrained, to restrain yourself as well. Very, very interesting card is the Strength card. These cards are very multifaceted, Pisces. So often when you get the Strength card, you see that lady there, and she puts her hand on the lion's mouth. Well, the Strength, the name Strength is representative for me. A lot of people say it's the woman whose name is Strength because it's Leo the lion here. So sometimes this person here has more strength over someone who is, we know that Leos generally, in terms of characteristics, like to be the centre of attention. So it's almost trying to restrain that ego part of yourself from doing something, or from, you know, being really kind of overtly communicative or overtly loud about something. Or, you know, we know that a lion roars. So what a lion does is if a lion is out in the wild, you don't want to be out in the wild with a lion, because its natural instinct is to show that it is king of the jungle, show that it is number one. And we know that Leos like to be number one a lot of the time. So often it's shutting down the egotistical part of ourselves that needs to be out there, that needs to let ourselves be known, that needs to let people know that we are this, we are that. So for some of you guys, the advice could be, well, you know, the words that you say could have an effect on someone in the month of October 2016 with that Three of Swords. So maybe the advice is, you know, it's probably best not to say too much, or it's probably best to try and restrain what your ego or what your inner instinct is telling you to do. Because if this lady, why she's named Strength, is because it's not possible really for one human being to restrain a lion. That is virtually impossible. Not even the strongest man on earth, because a lion pretty much will always overpower a human being. She's named Strength because her inability to close this lion's mouth. Okay, now we know that the tarot is metaphorical. Okay, so it has lots of metaphors within the tarot. It's not literally about restraining a lion. The lion, I feel, is representative perhaps of others. So it could be the advice is that you shut somebody down, potentially in the month of October 2016, by your strength. And it could be your strength of words with that Page of Swords. And maybe the shutting down comes with the Three of Swords. You affect someone to such a degree with the words that you say, with the things that you do, with the ideas that you have, that it could be that you actually manage to overpower someone. Maybe this person has been a complete and utter brute to you, potentially, Pisces. For some of you guys, it could be that the words that you say have the effect to do some real emotional damage to another person in the month of October. And therefore the Strength card comes in and it says, well, watch what you do, watch what you say. If you feel like kind of rushing ahead with something or doing something through pure rage, because the lion rages, then it could be, you know, temper what you do. Okay? Hold back from what you do. Temperance, what number is that in the tarot? I think Temperance is number 16. Let me just check. In the major, this is number 8. So we know that Temperance, that this is double. If we were to add up, if we were to reduce Temperance, like divide Temperance by 2, you'd get Strength times 2. And the Temperance card is about patience and making adjustments and weighing up the pros and cons of a situation and putting two opposing forces together through kindness, through diligence. Just going to check in my book the number of Temperance, because let's have a look. Temperance, Moon 2018. No, 16 is the Tower. So Temperance, sorry, is number 14 actually. So, you know, this could be reduced down, I guess, from the Tower, which is interesting, really, because the Tower means to, it means to blow up, but Strength means to hold back and to restrain. So I feel that for some of you guys, it could be the advice is restrain yourself in the month of October 2016. Have some patience, okay? If you are trying to overpower another individual, then maybe it's not wise to go shouting your mouth off or to be too overtly, obvious around how you feel around the situation, because you could do more damage than good. Maybe, you know, the reason why she's able to suppress this individual is because she takes a very softly approach. So really the key words with Strength are, you know, kindness wins the day, basically. If you are kind, if you are gentle, then it's gentility that will help you to overcome an obstacle rather than being ferocious and being angry. And I feel that there's a sense here in not allowing your rage and your anger to take over in the month of October 2016, Pisces, but maybe kind of being a little bit more gentle in your approach, because the Page of Swords isn't a particularly gentle card. When you get the Page of Swords, this is someone who is, and as I say, it's young. Pages are young. So in terms of messages as well, it's often disappointing news that comes to you, or news of a delay. For some of you guys, it might be that you're wanting to see someone. Maybe there's news that comes in the month of October where, you know, there's going to be a delay on somebody's return, and therefore with the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is not always, you know, a terrible card. Sometimes it just talks about feeling really upset because you're not with the person that you want to be with, or there's a separation here. So the Page of Swords could mean there's a message that signifies a delay is coming in, and this will probably prolong the separation with the Three of Swords, or it will cause some emotional upset for you. Okay, so it's a message about some disappointing news, and it causes some upset with the Three of Swords. And maybe with the Strength card, you're going to need to be patient, and you're going to need to be strong around that. We can think of all sorts of things with this reading. What are the energies? The 8 cards. Yeah, I mean, we've got the Hermit showing here. And then we've got the Lovers. Now, we know the Lovers is about a relationship, a union, a partnership. 2 people coming together. Okay? And I feel that for some of you guys, it might be that you're thinking of making a sacrifice, because the Lovers card is about a sacrifice. And that Lovers card is often based on a story in Greek mythology about Zeus. Zeus had 2 sons, and one was born immortal and one was born mortal. And the immortal son made a decision that he would become mortal, so that he could stay with his brother. So this is where I feel that we have the choice side of the Lovers that comes in, because I think that you guys are thinking about a choice that you need to make. And when we look at the choice, when we look at the Lovers card, we look at the decision. Often, you know, we as tarot readers very easily spout off what the general meanings are around the cards without, you know, sometimes you don't know, well, what's the reason for the Lovers making a choice? Why does that have to be that we make a choice? So it's always worth, when you do tarot, to read between the lines of the card. Well, if it's a card that we know signifies partnerships, unions, marriages, being in love, but it's also a card about having to make a choice about a relationship. It can be a card about temptation, because we have a snake around a tree, and we can see the trees on the side of Eve. So she had a choice of whether she was going to eat off the apple of good and evil, the tree of good and evil, the apple. So that's partly where the idea of choice comes in, I feel, with the Lovers card. The fact that one of them had a choice. And also the Greek mythology. The 2 brothers. And one was immortal and one was mortal. And the immortal one decided that they would become mortal, so that they could stay with them. So it's a choice to make a sacrifice. As Eve made a sacrifice. She sacrificed her immortality, the same thing. But unknowingly. We have a Hermit card, which suggests trying to find the truth, trying to find the answers, a time of isolation whilst we go through a deeply spiritual journey that requires great focus on a situation, that requires real soul searching. So I feel some of you guys there's real soul searching around relationships in the month of October 2016. And for some of you guys, it could actually reflect having to make a choice that requires you to make some form of a sacrifice in terms of that particular relationship. And I'm not saying that it's love, Pisces. It doesn't have to be love. But it is love in terms of the deep affection and the deep love that you feel for the thing that you might need to sacrifice on. The Lovers card for me is about being in love. But, you know, I could be in love with an item of furniture. Showed up in a Gypsy Tarot spread that I did on myself a few weeks back, where the Lovers, the Page of Wands was in the immediate future with the Lovers and, oh God, what was the other card? And the Tower card. And the next day it turned out that that meant I received a call about an item of furniture that I was really in love with. I was really excited to get it. But the Tower was the kicker. It was the surprise to me that they didn't deliver it. And I was annoyed But this thing that I depended on arriving with the lovers, this thing I was in love with, suddenly it wasn't going to happen. So it was like a surprise around this thing. It was like it didn't come. Complete blow up. I wanted to blow up, but I didn't. I made a choice also not to blow up. So it could be news will come to you, make a choice whether you're going to blow up or not with the Tower. You can look at these cards in all sorts of ways. But the Lovers means to be in love with something as well. And this is why I feel that there is real soul searching around something. Could be someone, could be a job, could be anything that you're totally in love with. And it could be that you are at a point where there might be the need to make a sacrifice around this individual. As we know, Zeus's two sons, one of the sons made a sacrifice, as Eve made a sacrifice within the relationship. She made a choice to sacrifice something of herself. Didn't turn out, well, it turned out okay for Eve, but it, you know, she was no longer immortal. She was mortal. She became human, fully human, capable of life and death, painful childbirth, all of those things. So sometimes for me, the Lovers card is about making choices that we feel will benefit us in the long run, whether these things turn out to be right or wrong. And I feel that there is real soul searching within that. So maybe the advice is, you know, don't just do things off the spur of the moment with the Strength card. Hold back on making those choices because you need time to reflect and think about the repercussions or the consequences, perhaps, of your actions in the month of October 2016, because your general energy is the Page of Swords. So this could be standing up for the truth, speaking your truth, new inspirational ideas that come to you that you want to initiate on with that Page of Swords. But with the Three of Swords, it might cause some separation or distress to others. So in the framework of that, we see someone who is soul searching. They are trying to find a way towards the correct path with the Lovers. What is the correct thing for me to do? If I do one thing, I'll need to sacrifice something. If I do the other, then do we stay the same? Do I stay the same? So it's about taking your time and thinking about the actions that you take going forward in the month of October 2016. Let's have a look at the other cards, Pisces. We've got the Knight of Swords, and that is a very quick card. Very, very quick. Along with the Seven of Cups. I think you want a quick turnaround on something, because the Knight of Swords is often where we are inclined to make very spur of the moment decisions. So you get this card, and this is where you know, for some of you guys it might be that you do receive information, because both the Page of Swords and that Knight of Swords, this can be a visitor. This can be a message that you receive, a really quick message. So as soon as you think about someone, they might turn up at the door. So it could be that you have to deliver a message that causes some difficulty. The energy in the month is maybe delivering messages from yourself, Pisces, that might cause some difficulty with that Three of Swords. Some struggles within particular relationships in the month of October 2016. And maybe this is because with the Knight of Swords, you receive something. Knight of Swords is often what we receive coming in. So I often see the Page of Swords sometimes as being the things that we do in terms of, yeah, it can be a message that you receive, but it can also be something that you do as an individual. Okay, so it can be, you know, I've got something that I want to say. It's on my mind and I'm now going to just say it. And it's going to cause with that Three of Swords some difficulty. And around this, it could be, well, I'm having to really soul search, go inward, to find some form of meaning or clarity to a path with the Lovers that I want to take, but I know that if I make a decision, it's going to require a sacrifice. With the Knight of Swords, it could be that you are either feeling rushed or you get some major message or communication that comes to you, and it could be around options, that because this is you, your cups, your Pisces, that you've been looking at. So it could be that with those options, you are required to make a decision very, very fast. Or it could be that messages as a result of options that you've been looking at. So if you've been looking for a new job, it could be that suddenly communication comes in around those options that you've been looking at. Okay, for some of you guys, it will be with the Knight of Swords that there are sudden changes that are around you in the month of October. And with the Seven of Cups, you might be deliberating. You might be needing to choose wisely what you do, what you choose. And that's why we've got the Hermit card, which says I need to really go inward and take this time out to reflect on the path with the Lovers that I choose. Because it requires a great sacrifice from myself, and it might affect others. My decisions will affect others, which is why I need to take time to choose, make my choices carefully over this sudden change, this sudden direction that is coming towards me, or that I am actually going after. And that's why the general energy is the Page of Swords. It might be that you need to deliver news in the month of October 2016, or you might have news that comes to you that could cause some difficulty with that Three of Swords. So therefore the advice is, be strong. If it's something you really want to do and it's going to cause separation, or it's going to cause some discord within your family, within your work setup, within your relationships, then maybe you're going to just need to be strong and do it. Or it could be that you need to kind of hold back and just wait a moment and really think this thing through properly. What are the other energies that we see coming up here? The Fool. So the Fool practically means a new beginning. It means also taking a risk. And the King of Wands. Now the King of Wands we know to be a card about entrepreneurship. It can also be a card about a career direction that you take. For some of you guys, we can see the Fool walking out of the King of Wands. So some of you guys might want to be free of a relationship. Free of the King of Wands, for example. Because the Fool is ahead of the King of Wands. And the Fool means I'm going to take a risk on something. For some of you guys, it might be that you're taking a risk on the King of Wands, i.e. a career direction. Maybe for some of you guys, it's to do with travel. We know the King of Wands can be travelling towards maybe a really hot destination, going somewhere else from wherever it is that you are. King of Wands is often determination, courage. For some of you guys, it could be in the month of October that you need to have the confidence, the courage, the ambition, the motivation, the passion to follow your bliss with the Fool card. But you are going inward with the Hermit card to seek some real answers, to clarify, is this the right direction for me to take with the Lovers? Because it means that if I take this direction, I have to make a sacrifice. I have to make a choice in a certain direction that I feel, whilst it's going to be very beneficial to me, it might be that overall energy is the news that I deliver, or the news that is received to me, it could cause heartbreak, discord or struggle. And therefore, I need to think clearly. I need to be very, very gentle maybe in the way that this is delivered as the advice card. Or I need to maybe hold back just a little bit longer just to gain a greater perspective on the situation. Let's have a look at the final cards. Well, you've got a lot of decision cards here. Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So I feel that the Seven of Pentacles is, you know, in a way this card can be a card about, again, it's the evaluation. It's evaluating the progress of something that you have made a great investment in. You're looking at the effort you've put in. You're looking at, do I continue doing this thing? Do I continue building on this thing? Or do I let it go and maybe look at another path? It's where we can be proud of the things that we have built up, of all the work that we have done. But often this card, because he's resting on a staff, and he's looking at what he's built up. This suggests someone who's looking and thinking, this looks great, yeah. What else can be done here, though? Is there anything else that I can look at? It's always good when you're doing tarot, get in the head of the card. Do the action of the card. So if I'm the Seven of Pentacles card, how I try and do tarot myself is I get in the head of the card, and I imagine myself as the guy on the Seven of Pentacles. Then if I'm looking at this bush of Seven Pentacles, I'm thinking, I'm kind of evaluating my work. Does that need tweaking there? Does that need adjusting there? What else could I do maybe to make that feel greater? For some people with the Seven of Pentacles, it's looking at how much money you've made. Do you need to make more money? Do I need to increase what I have already built up here? So I feel for some of you guys it's evaluating, and we've got the Two of Cups here, a relationship, the Two of Cups. So it could be that you have, with that Knight of Swords, sudden messages, sudden communications coming in relating to some options that you've been looking at. Okay, so I feel that you've been looking at changing course, particularly in the month of September. This is, I feel, been going on from September, but it could also be that sudden news comes to you around this thing and you need to make a choice, because what you're probably evaluating is either a negotiation or making a negotiation or an agreement that's coming to you, because we go from the Two of Cups underscores that Seven of Cups. So it could be that there is an agreement in the month of October. Can be a love relationship potentially. So there's an agreement here that is being assessed with that Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups means I have a very hard choice to make. What do I choose? This seems to be something that is on the table for you. And you have a very hard choice as to whether you choose it or not. Is it the right thing for me to do? Because it might be that time is not on your side. Somebody wants a quick answer from you. Somebody wants an answer right there and right now in the month of October. Are you going to do this or not? So you seem to be evaluating what you've probably already built up with that Seven of Pentacles energy. You know, have what I've done up until now. Is it enough? Or should I go for this agreement? I've got a really hard choice to make, because this Knight of Swords energy is very rushed. Somebody needs a decision from me really quickly. Therefore, you are going inward to make a decision. You're really trying to find the right solution, because it might require that you make a sacrifice with that Lovers card. For some of you guys, because we've got the Lovers and the Two of Cups in the same reading, it might be a relationship. It might be separation from a relationship so that you can pursue a dream. Okay, so whether it's work relationship, love relationship, usually is the Lovers and the Two of Cups, because it's a very strong soulmate relationship. Two very soulmate twin flame cards. So it might require that you have to leave a soulmate, or you have to leave a twin flame. You have to leave somebody who's really, really important to you. It might be to pursue a new dream somewhere else, because we do have that Fool card, following your bliss. And maybe you need the confidence to do that. Maybe it means leaving a particular person behind. Maybe it means I want to pursue a particular career goal that I've got with the King of Wands energy. And I want to take a risk on this with the Fool. So therefore I'm going inward and I'm saying, you know, is this the right thing for me to do right now? Because I'm going to have to make a sacrifice on a relationship that is very, very important to me. So therefore, I need to evaluate whether what we've built up together is enough. Is it enough? Have we done enough to stay together? Or do I move out? Do I take all the confidence I've got and do I move swiftly towards this new thing that comes in? And this is where the energy shows up off the Page of Swords. For some of you guys, the energy might be for the month, shit, I've got to deliver some really bad news that's going to cause heartbreak or separation for me, for my partner, for my family, within my work team, whatever it is. And the advice card is, you're going to need to be strong. If you are Pisces in the month of October 2016, deciding to leave something behind because it's in your best interest and you are certain of it and it is the best thing for you to do, even if that requires making a very tough choice, deciding to make a sacrifice because it's going to be in your best interest, because you really do need that fresh start, then you're going to need to kind of, you know, put all of your inner confidence together and do it. You're going to need to shut down this fear here with the lion. The lion can also represent fear, because usually when we scream and we shout, it comes from a place of fear. So sometimes it's best to just have the inner confidence to know that we can just be really calm. Sometimes for me the Strength card means knowing how to deliver a message, to deliver it with softness and with such a sense of togetherness, rather than, do you see what I mean? Rather than letting our fears take over. This lady overcomes her obstacle because she overcomes the fear that she feels. The lion is the fear, because the lion is the fearful animal Who'd go next to a lion in life? I certainly wouldn't. It would bite me up. It would eat me. So, you know, in order for her to put her hand on that lion's mouth, she's conquering a fear. So I feel that in the month of October, the advice is also to conquer your fears. Pisces, conquer them. Because if there's a direction that you need to take that you're fearful of taking, maybe you just need to bite the bullet and do it. Okay, fight your fears. Because when you fight your fears, there's something on my wall here that says, it's my twin sister, she's a very spiritual individual, very into these quotes. I'm just looking, it says, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. It's funny, but it's true. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And it's true. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. So this is about facing the fear and doing things anyway. I can sense a big decision some of you guys got to make, but you're afraid to do it. You might be afraid because it's going to cause rifts within a relationship, within something speaking, and you're trying to work something through. But I feel if you want to follow your bliss in a particular path, and it does require making a major sacrifice in which you're going to have to go from being in something that's been comfortable, I mean, I don't see any Four of Cups here. I don't see any cards that are whole Four of Pentacles. I don't see cards where you're like completely like, no, I'm not going to do it. I see an openness to change here. But in order to do that, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. So face the fear and do it anyway. Overcome the obstacles, and you overcome obstacles by facing the fear. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Let's get an angel card, Pisces, and see what the angels are saying to you in the month of October 2016. Universe Spirit, what is the advice that you have for Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for the month of October 2016? What is the advice that you have for Pisces? Show me. What's the advice that you have for Pisces? Angels, what's the advice in accordance with this reading that you have for Pisces in the month of October 2016? Show me. Communicate clearly. How incredible is that? Communicate. Can you see that? Hope you can. Communicate clearly. Let's see what the booklet says about this. This situation requires very precise and careful communication. Don't assume that others involved understand what you want or need from them. In-person discussions are preferable. But if that's not possible, make sure that your communication method is very thorough. This card can indicate that there has been a miscommunication that is creating a challenge for the parties involved. By clearing up any misunderstandings, you can heal the situation so that everyone can start moving forward again. And that's a brilliant card to come out, because the reading is very much about communication and communicating clearly, but also communicating in a way that puts people at their ease. It's not about holding back. It's about overcoming any obstacles that you've had. If you've got choices to make, and I'm sensing of choices that some of you guys have got to make here, make sure you communicate those choices and the reason for those choices clearly, so that people understand. Because communication can get lost. It can get lost when we're not truly saying what we need to say. The Page of Swords can be difficult communication. That is brought out. That is communicated. That with the Three of Swords can cause some distress. Can cause some difficulty. But the Strength card can also be about communicate. Say what you need to say in the right way rather than the wrong way as well. I feel there's a path some of you guys want to go on in the month of October, but I feel that you're fearing hurting someone around this path. But you have to put yourself first, because that's what the Lovers card is about. It's about putting yourself first. Even if you have to sacrifice something big. It's about, we only have one life and one you. So even if there are sacrifices that you need to make, then you need to do this. For some of you guys, you might feel alone in a relationship. The Hermit and the Lovers. The Hermit card can often mean I feel alone. And the Lovers card can be relationship. So you might be feeling alone in a relationship. You might have been looking at other options, and you're wanting to move forward with those other options, but you're assessing the relationship that you're in. And for some of you guys, you might decide to leave someone because it's just not working out. And you're going to need the strength to do that. And you're going to need to communicate clearly the reasons why. So this can run in all sorts of ways, but it's about communication in the month of October. And communicating what is right for you and the reasons why you've made certain choices. That's your reading, Pisces, for the month of October 2016. I would like to say thank you very, very much for joining me on your October 2016 reading. Hop over to your love reading. It's really good. One of the best I've done. So see what you can pick up from that. And take care, guys. Bye-bye.